guys. I just thought I'd give you a little update on the progress on the 190E. I've been working on the rear guard, and I started with the factory flares, or factory from the company that we bought the original body kit from, and I just decided to throw it out, as you might have seen. So what we've got is a heap of sculpting foam, and I've set to work, so I'll just show you that. I'll just head over here, and what I was always curious about was the factory flare was, you know, only 40 millimeters, if that, wide, and I just think, you know, if you look at the front flare, it's a good 90 millimeters, and granted the car is kind of tapering in, so I thought, oh well, I'll make the rear flare, you know, a bit wider and try and keep that shape. Now I'm still not quite satisfied with that. I think it's still a bit bulky, but we're getting close. So I've measured my ride height at the back as well, and then I've, you know, scribed an arc 40 millimeters larger than my tyre, and then brought that down to get the radius. Now, like I say, there's a lot of work to go here, but I'll definitely be going wider, but I think I'm going to take that in maybe another 10 mil, and definitely going to sculpt this back. It's looking a bit, you know, a bit of a fat booty going on there, so we'll keep going with that. I haven't filmed a lot of this process because a lot of it is me sitting on my trusty stool there with the hot glue gun sticking foam in places, so it's not that exciting, but I will film a bit more of the final sculpting, and then we'll have to coat this with filler and smooth it all out and get it all looking sexy, and then I'll be making a fiberglass mold off the side of the guard here, so we'll need to protect the bodywork a bit, but it should be fine, so stay tuned. Righto, so I've just done a fair bit of sanding to it, and it probably, I don't know, it's hard to tell how different it looks. I'm not sure whether it shows up on camera, but we've taken a fair bit of material off. Here, if you compare before, you could see all these separate parts before, so definitely pretty happy with that. I've lowered this a bit, and what I'm trying to do, if I show you the front flare, we start here, you know, pretty about 12-15 mil wide, and this line kind of flows out and then back in and then back down. So I've done that here. So we start here, and you can see I've just drawn a line here. We flow out and we flow back in. So I've tried to keep that same style. This area here is a difficult one, and it looks messy now because especially there's some gaps in that here, but once I cover this with body filler, it will look I guess a lot better. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just we'll just hit these with a bit of white paint just to get a bit more of a visual on how that's going to look, because the problem is, you know, that green stands out like dog's balls, so it probably looks a bit FLARES sort of thing. So yeah, pretty happy with that, and we'll be able to run some big rubber, and at the ride height will be tucked in here nice. So I'm pretty looking forward to seeing what it's like done. And then of course we have to do the other side, mirror image, but that'll be in another episode, and I'll show you how that's done as well. But you might have seen me occasionally get out my wife's kitchen knife, and what I'm doing is, where you hot glue these panels together, you end up with this kind of bit of glue here, and this stuff, it sands so well that it just, you end up with this lump here that just won't sand, so I just shave that off. The wife's kitchen knife is definitely the tool of choice for when you're initially sculpting this as well. If you're using Stanley blades and things like that, they just flex too much and you can't get that control to get your, you know, the angle of your cut right. So yeah, so I'm going to do some fancy zoom ins and stuff like that for a bit of a montage to finish this episode. Thanks for watching.